last move.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Zarya. You called us pretty, Pycat. I mean, I don't think it's as pretty as the particle effects that's going to be coming out of 404's draft this game. Because what a difference. We're seeing Omni Knight again, a hero that we barely get to ever see anymore.
Wish to retract.
Yeah, it also seemed like it was just bound to start to crop up again with the resurgence of Lestrak, right? That's always been one of those classic combos. You put the Lesh and the Omni together because what's the downside of the Lesh is usually you're this kind of magical glass cannon.
You don't stand.
Battle begins.
Yeah, the way you just when the best dota is when we see the teams focus on how they can maximize their own draft instead of getting obsessed in, oh, we're going to counterpick this hero, we're going to match up better on that lane. It's instead look at how these come together, because like 404, they've got these good saves, they've got these kind of strong resets in terms of stopping damage, and then VP, I like how with the Viper and the Juggernaut, they've kind of gone for their own attritional warfare where like, okay, you're trying to tick us down over time, but we can match that. We've got a Viper, we've got this healing ward, we've got this Timber sword.
Fear nothing.
Yeah, I love that you raised that. It's kind of something we sometimes forget because the players, like, over the years, have shifted around. And at this point, it feels like almost every player has played with every other player, at least if you're mid-20s or above. Well and death. Yeah, also you can dispel it, right? Because it comes with a spell and card. But the overall Timber shouldn't be the most worrisome of people. Solo, definitely no stranger to Omni Knight. I'd say he was like one of the more memorable boss vibe Omni Knight players ever. Yeah, it's like GPK, it's a bit surprising. Most people would have expected the corrosive skin, right? Because you're up against all this magical damage. But I guess against Lestrak, and he's a glass cannon, so if you just keep whittling away with the poison attacks, he can never trade effectively.
All wands will break.
He has finally got 1 point corrosive skin. I guess like just for the 1 point it's pretty high value, right? Because it just makes sure Signal can never trade. It might get rougher. Look at safe. Yep, good rotation. Avalanche toss into the Never Toxin, and it looks like the first lodge is going to go the way of GPK.
Well, I am. Ha!
Denied.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
It's almost like Zaz just sitting there. He's like, well, I died for that on purpose because if he didn't get that courier snipe, Sumail would have been a little bit short for gold. He would have to have waited around or sell the fairy fire. That's had his bottom.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And we're seeing.
Dire's middle tower
Well, I was
is
going
under
to say we're seeing a
attack.
different build of the Viper as well, right? Because we keep seeing these boosted travel Vipers all the time, but it looks like GPK is a bigger fan of the trend.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it makes you wonder where it's going to happen, because so far, save, it's not just the mid lanes, it's the bot lanes who just saw these snipes out the support so easily. It's just back and forth. It feels like VP's cores are all self-sustained at this point, right? That the Jug is past the hard point lane, it's a Timbersaw on the top, and this Viper's out of control. In on the mid lane, Sumail in trouble, is going to fall. The save rotates in with the Avalanche toss combo. And of course, Safe's always going to have mana as well because he has that CM, right? So you've got these pranks, and it's never... It doesn't feel like the times where we see Tiny has to chill, buy some extra clarity, get the mana. He's almost always going to be up and ready to go.
Illusion.
Well, GTK already at the bottom. It was just a matter he seems to change his mind what he wants to do next. Sun coming out with the rotation. Viper is going to fall here. They will find solo in response, but it's after the fact. Much needed kill for Sun now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He's... Yeah, I think it was the one. Nice kill on Puck the bot lane. Because when the regen room was there and Sumail denied it, that was when GPK was down to one bottle charge. So I assume he stopped off for the one, but he's now going for the ATOS, so he's just kind of fully fixated on how can I keep the ATOS. So I guess you could say VP, not all their heroes have great tools to keep. Oh, no one? He just got back. That was 5 seconds in and then just gone.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I got in. Looks like it's just you, I think.
Ramses has felt quite quiet, but that's because he's just been, getting ready to farm, like you said, already up to 55 CS. So that's the one thing that's going well for 404. Their name is kind of ironic because so far in this game, their aggression hasn't been found. It's all VP. But as you say, if you get some gold in that Sven, maybe there's a comeback with your sixes and one item on Sven.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
it's a bit worrying from the strat perspective as well, right? Because it's the type of hero that usually, you know, level 1-2 suffers a bit, but then tends to get a lot of gold and tends to kind of be that tempo setter out of it. Save. Uh-oh. Simel tossed into the waiting arms of GPK, and he welcomes the gift that's been sent his way by his support. They'll find more. Zayat's slowly but surely going to be run down, and you just hear the gold strength in the distance. It's only for one thing. They might. I don't know if they saw him.
Is under attack. Radiant's bottom
No. He wasn't sure.
Attack.
Look at where the wood is. They didn't quite have vision of what Ramses was doing there as he moved to the right. They'll go in and punish him.
No. Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, I think for them, they're happy with that trade, right? That's a level 5 Omniite for a level 6 CM, and you did get your hands on the Ancient. So all things considered, for 404, they'll take that.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's courier has been killed.
Your last move. A prize.
Radiant are scanning.
Gold.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the XP greed support. So when you think of the core perspective, Lestrak and Sven, like they can do, you know, some things on their lanes, but of course the park, when you're with a Shadow Demon, like what was your kill threat? How do you ever threaten the Juggernaut?
Your dedication.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, because I think it'd be fair to say that VP's
is under attack.
kind of on the clock in terms of how their draft functions, right? Like this Viper, he can bully through that mid game, but this Timber, like we said, he won't feel that great in this game. Omni Knight and also the Jug won't feel that great in the flash combo with Shadow.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
To a future.
Dire's
Team
top
Sumel
tower
was
is
delivering
under
himself to the
attack.
blue factory there as he walked into Epileptic Kid, who did not hesitate to throw out the That's the false sense of security when you have a haste rune in the bottle, I guess.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, I think that was confirmed. Like, it is at least around 120, 150 MS, I think he's dealing with. Ooh, toss back.
Dire's bottom tower has
He's
fallen.
gonna go for this. I don't think you... yeah, they might be able to get him now, but there's gonna be a Guardian Angel throwing everything into protecting him, man. I don't know if it's gonna help enough though. Ramsey's been pro low. Dream Cool turnaround's gonna be there though. Tiny will blow. DM down to half HP as well. He'll also be the next target. As they counter-attack and strike hard, they take down 3 members of VP.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
No one. He can't dodge all this. He got a little bit cocky. Thought maybe Wayne Rift would get me up to the high ground, but those slows overwhelmed him. Yeah. I mean, a lot of popular mids right now are, right? Like, what is the easiest mid we can think of to pick him from a ping perspective? Because I don't think Wraith King mid is much of a thing right now. Oh, well, that's good. Oh, the other team got it. Crap. By the way, I like this different approach from GPK because we kept talking about those boost travels earlier, right? It seems like Vipers get it for the mobility factor. He's like, okay, I know I'm slow. How about a blink dagger?
Radiant are scanning.
It's got to be flashy, right? Yeah. Just want to see him pop off. Like, you know, it's GPK, you know he's going to murder people one by one, but think, if Sumail gets in control of this game, we'll be able to run into this ball of heroes right now and melt them all. Sadly, that's not the case at the moment, though. Solo gets picked off. Another one. He's keeping track, and Jug, he is going for this Battle Fury, though, so there is going to be a moment where maybe Jug, at this rate, can pull forward because he's getting all these kills as well.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, and that also then comes back to what we were talking about earlier, where VP, the reason you got this Ace off the Viper is the lockdown is fairly limited. So far, Save has been delivering, but he has to keep doing that. He's the only real means with which they can send a parcel into the arms of their
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Poison.
Oh,
Radiant structures
you looked the
are
wrong way.
fortified.
Closer than Sumail maybe realized. I mean, that's a 50-50 there. If he goes the other way, he's going to see him. He's on their way out. PP won't work here. Save arrives to ensure that's the case. They pick up what looks like a fairly easy Sven. There's no rebuttal elsewhere, right? Like this comes back to what we were saying about 404's layer timing, is that when a pick-off like that happens, if you're not 5, like how do you
Dire's
punish VP elsewhere?
are fortified.
Look out for falling rocks!
Shift around as a group. That's the other thing. When Sven is there, it's not just they can't counterplay. You see that they herd together, right? Like you can sense the fear that's there for 404 of how easy it is for VP to find any individual pickups.
Illusion!
Hey, he's got an excuse, okay? It is a hard lane to win in the first place, though, right? Viper versus
Dire's top
Illustrad.
tower is under
And
attack.
GPK is not exactly the biggest pushover when it comes to his mid performances. New Sumail versus old.
Dire are scanning.
Oh wait, who do we say is old Sumail before Sumail? Like loads of people always thought Arteezy, but like did you think
Dire's top
Arteezy or is there
tower
another?
is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah.
Fear not, heresy.
So who was the Sumail before Sumail? Both. Maybe there'll never truly be one like him again. The GPK is definitely gone for it. Turn around this time, the buyback comes out. Ramses with a charge forward, doing the damage on the Juggernaut stuff to bring him down. The Guardian Angel out, which means there's no sort of rebuttal for VP. Chase the forward for more, they'll be able to find Ilias. So they do get some big picks. Should be able to convert it to a tower. Finally, 404, they find some firm ground to fight back. Moving in under the Piper. GPK is full health though, and Sumail is going to melt on the Nevertox, and mistakes were made. They bit off the extra bit that they choked on. They might have him still. He's been brought like, he's got the PK BKB just in time, but the problem is the damage is already on him. He was always going to tick out at the end of that because of the demonic purge. I'm not even sure it was worth hitting the BKB there.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I was just watching fabulous right click for Ramses.
Will break.
Demolished anyone standing in front of him. Whoopsie. They make it look so easy.
Radiant are scanning.
And he's going for this Kaya before the BKB as well. I don't know if BKB
Dire's top tower
first
is
would
under
necessarily
attack.
save him though, right? Like he's still so squishy in this game. Even just with
Radiant's
the physical
bottom
damage.
tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
The time.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and also like in terms of scaling at layer, Silver Age is very good in this game, right? Against a Viper, against a Timber. Like there's plenty of heroes to utilize that item against. I guess he feels, you know, we need extra disables right now. Obviously, you could consider an Ags in this type of game, but I don't think getting on top of VP is the problem for 404. Let's finish him off. I mean, DM will apologize, but I don't think 404 can be happy with that apology. He still gets hit by the stun, they'll toss him out. I feel like that was the plan in the end, right? Like, now you've still got the illusion room, which is an extra dispel if someone can't save you. And it is in his name, so you know he's usually going to be there whenever you call. He's like Superman of VP. Yeah, I am curious to see if we're going to see the... Yeah, we are going to see the Superman on the side of 404. Ramses queued up the Ags next. Yeah.
Illusion.
Dire are scanning.
No, it's the conditionals required. I need to not have my blink on cooldown. I need to be able to be in range. I need to have something that's possibly away too.
Will break.
Whereas on 404, it's like, look, we just press our buttons and nobody can die. There we go, anyway. Recall will be thrown out on the save. We'll turn around with the Avatos, do some damage. The healing water's near him as well, so Tiny didn't melt too quickly here. He's got one level on the Grove, but the damage is pretty high from Ramsey still. They're trying to slow him down. He's hunting forward. Wants to finish that killer. Turn around on DM. He has no reactive armor stacks just yet. Hunt forward. Looks like Puck's able to finish off Tiny. Buyback will come out as they are in deep. Now they're looking to punish it. No one, not able to get away. He's gone. Instantly punished for that. That's going to be his dieback situation. On the side, though, there's a bigger target. Simba. He's brought down GPK with the BKB to run away, but Ramsey's too fast as he hunts forward. And GPK, Viper Strike on cooldown, but the almost that's going to come out of Ramses. There will be a save, though. They throw out the disruption. In the meantime, Ellis is going to fall to Sumail, and now Ramses' avalanche toss is going to be there. They melt through him quick enough for the magical damage. They don't care about the physical. They will be able to TP out with Zayats, but it looks like, you know, BP, the price was high, but they'll feel good about what they got out of that. The Puck and the Sven in the end, and they might be able to go into the pit now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
No more need I trouble with death.
That's a... It's one of those kind of weird scenarios as well, right? Because there is a ripple effect from that happening where no one then dives to tier 2 with all his spells on cooldown, and that's why he then dies tiny buyback. But at the same time, as you say, Ramses, he must have a clear plan of this. I mean, the Orchid definitely has some value in this game, so you can appreciate the need for that extra silence.
Radiant
you don't have ways of dealing with that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, that's true.
This'll come in handy.
I'm wondering if I'm not quite sure if DM had the Lotus when he decided to like disassemble his Orchid. Yeah, okay. So it should have been obvious.
Will
The other one, I mean, you get some attack speed. I'm like reading the Orchid stats, and I'm trying to think, like, is there someone I'm missing here? But I think you're right. It's definitely not a traditional or conventional way to build your stuff. Type of game. Yeah, but in this game,
Radiant's
right?
bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
all wands will break.
Dire are scanning.
Mine.
You might wish to retract your last move.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
You said he's going to be a problem. I mean, he's already proven to be a problem. It's going to be an unavoidable problem. Is probably the fairer way to put it, right? Like, think of how most of these heroes are going to try and jive him out. And that's why Save is building that Lotus you mentioned earlier as well. It's probably the only item that you can really build against Sven to kind of counter him. Ghost Scepter doesn't work, yours doesn't work, Glimmer Cape doesn't work. Especially for a level 15. It might be the strongest level 15 talent in the game. Right now, they're just shaking their fists and chat. They're like, when Ice Frog getting rid of that? Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they at least shifted to a higher level, if not just obliterate it straight. Yeah.
No sorceries avail.
It's just like, it's something that people didn't really kind of see at first because ads just being built in Sven kind of looked like it means, but now it looks broken. Zayats, his TP will be broken. Tries to escape, but it tanks the gank. Sumel's able to get away. He's not been hemorrhaging as many kills as he was in the early phases of the game. Still try for one more play.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
El Delito, no retreat. That's going to be Ramses' new late mail name.
Armor of omniscience.
And you get to a stage where, because Sumel's not an easy pick, this Bloodstone, like, you will start to build charges off the back of random in front of these fights. Even though he has gone for the plate mail over the Hyperstone, which some people might sit there and think that's a bit odd, but it means you're less reliant on these saves having to come your way in the fight. So I guess that frees up the support of 404 to focus on keeping the mail alive if he gets jumped. Both hit. No. And that's the thing. Usually the save with like a disruption or like a guardian angel will be there. The moment they do that, we see what happens. Usually his VP turn and kills Sumail.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And it just gets better and better as the game goes on. You know, you get to level 20 on that Omni Knight, minus 3 seconds, so you can just have perma uptime on the Sven.
This'll come in handy.
There's going to be a big focus on the opening of these fights, right? Like, obviously, it goes without saying we got Sven and Puck on one side, but if Epi gets in on the right target with an Omni Slash, they're not coupled together, which you usually don't want to do against Omni Slash at this stage of the game. You could see VP take an early kill advantage of these.
Dire are scanning.
Fear nothing.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Moving in. RAMZES jumps in. Dream Call on the free. One was able to dodge it. Epi can get just that range. The CM's already gone. Save's going to fall as well. They move through to try and cut the back line, but Guardian Angel comes out. Disruption save is going to be there. The Shadow Demon keeps himself alive. The stun control is good. And they find the kill onto GPK. No one chasing forward. RAMZES will use the illusion to his advantage to force the fight towards them, but it looks like the Timber is out. 3 dead on the side of VP. That was 404's big reveal, and they do pretty decent off of it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
I mean, they were fortunate not to have 4 dead, right? They almost, very almost caught Epi in that as well. And obviously, you know, you're going to be stuck in there as the Juggernaut with the axe down the
Radiant's
park.
middle tower is under attack.
Might count the lucky stars they didn't hemorrhage the big bad carry in the Juggernaut. Uh-oh, they might hemorrhage this though. An ambitious TP attempt by DM.
Is under attack.
He's stuck here now. They're actually just interested in the tower first before they turn their attention towards the Timber.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Just farm. The RTZ approach to any issue is flattens no. Just hit creeps, you know you're dead. There you go. Oh, is he dead? There we go. They're going to keep up with him. He's making them work for a lot though. So you do get him in the end, but I guess you could say space created, right? Everyone on VP got back up and it allowed Jug to keep farming in the mean.
Fear not heresy.
Radiant
Mel's also catching up as well, like he's able to contribute. I feel like he's scaling better than the Viper now, right? Because GPK, he did go for this build, this magical build, and it kind of feels like when you compare the Shadow Fiend builds, where physical versus magical, right? It's the same situation where his potential as the game scales feels a little bit limited unless he decides to randomly switch to right the guy.
Be fearless.
Puck just getting even more elusive. Actually, just hit the 20s to the other Wayne and Rift. And the way these fights are going, Puck can more or less always be the safest person to push out lanes by any risk to them. He moves in, just pokes across the Jug. Atos comes down to Sven. BKB used, turns around. God Strength, coil on the 2. Viper using that tree to his advantage, but vision will be given to the Sven. Try and clean him up, toss away to save the day. Does get Viper out. The save's still alive. They're chasing in the freezer field. It is down. Still running. They don't hit him up with the stun. They're going to try and melt through him now. They lost the Viper already. Buyback comes out the Shadow Demon. DM dishing out a lot of damage here, but they will be able to find the kill on the Ilias, and they'll hunt forward looking for more with the Stormhammer forward. Epic Kid does get the spin out. They need to be careful. No match community on their Sven. He does the ghost strength though. Sees the opportunity to bring down save, and he'll clip on top of him, turn around on the Timber as well. They need a follow-up stun, but still on cooldown. Yours to buy some time. I don't know if they're going to stun out of time. They will. They get DM. 4 dead on the side of VP. Roche is about to spawn in 10 seconds. 404. Once again, time this fight perfectly.
Fear nothing.
Yeah, you can actually see that now Epic Kid is like, okay, he's queued it up, but okay, I wondered if he was going to fire out on him, because you're in this precarious scenario where with this Aegis, 404 can just get rid of the remaining out of towers and start to C2 base, but he sees the need for it. He does get caught. Luckily for him, they're not going to be coming quick enough, so he might get away with this. He'll just run off with the Master Mana. So he was going to come out. Sven is here now, though. He needs to move quicker. There's the body blocks from no one. He's keeping him locked in. And guess who's coming? The big back shark. And you're in his river. He'll get the spin out, but the damage is going to be way too much. It's Epi Kid. He just bought the Ags. They don't know it because he hasn't had it delivered. But he's dead for 80 seconds without buyback. He got interrupted, right? When the puck came in. I think that's what happened. Because the Dream Call's on cooldown. But it was always worrying when we, like, especially when he chooses to buy the Ags that far out base, right? That's the other part. Like, luckily they didn't see him pick it up, so they do not have a clue that there's no buyback on the Jug. So they might be a little bit defensive on 404.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Recall, on the 2, moving in. Stun is returned. Ramses will now disperse BKB with the Guardian Angel and run Timber down. He's dead. Save we turned on to next. Also fallen. And stun forward onto the 5, but doesn't care about the freezer field. He might soon, but it's not enough magic damage to deter Ramses from diving the tier 4s. Powers won't stop him either. They'll turn around at the DM. He just bought back. He'll be stunned in return for Lotus. But he's still dead. 95 seconds on the sideline. How the hell do you stop this Sven?
Middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, he got the kill. But I don't think it changes anything. Like you said, 404, they just understand. Like, they were very patient in this early mid-game. They didn't try and force them out. They let VP have their time in the limelight where their draft was stronger. Now, they're showing why they're stronger. I'll move in. Dream Call come out. Omni Slash to bounce around, doing a lot of damage. Does get rid of the Aegis. But now he has nothing to follow up. The throne is exposed, so he has to stand his ground right here. Sumail will come back up. BKB in 2 seconds. No one will cover him. Stormhammer in. Does stun up on the Epi Kid. Avalanche toss in. Sumail isn't going to die though. Bloodstone will heal him up. Stun is a whiff. They'll back away. They'll respect the fact that the Viper is back up. And GPK does go in. Atos, BKB gets forced. Ramses will TP out. And it looks like Puck will get away as well. Solo will even make his escape in the tree line. So, you know, BP, they're still in this game. They're only 1 lane down. But the Ancient is exposed. It's not looking healthy.
Air support arrives.
Radiant are scanning.
Ready to rumble. Fear not heresy.
Yeah, he understands that at this stage in the game, there's no such thing as 2D. He sees someone, he'll chase them to the ends of the earth in that Stormhammer. You could have 4 4-staffs and closely found. And you know Ramses will still go inside that fountain and probably kill him. Ooh.
Dire are scanning.
Yep. He needs to buy time. I don't know if he's going to have it, though. It's just gone. GPK, he has no buyback. He's 300 gold short. He was trying to get it. I wonder if they realized as well. I mean, he didn't buy anything new, but after last time when you saw the Epi kid clearly didn't have buyback when you're in his base, you got to be tempted to kind of poke the bear and see if it bites back.
No sorceries avail.
Well, oh, right, they can bite back, but this one cannot buy back. That's the problem. Look at them waiting. Like, okay, let's test this right here. It's not like we've got to worry about diving tier 4s. Ramsey says, okay, if they won't come to us, then we'll just hit the buildings. Moving in, Epic Kid using the spin, but that's not the right way to go about this. They just let them hit the throne. They're bringing it low. They'll end the game. 4-0-4, game 1 in their hands.